Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets, and we've got another interesting knife to do a review of today. This is the Sharp by Design Derecho, and I probably just southernized that word very strongly. However, again, this is Sharp by Design, Brian Nadeau, and I actually had had one of his models earlier, the Tempest, the Mini Tempest, and I think I actually did a pre-order on that one. So I like his design language, and actually one of the reasons I got rid of the Mini Tempest was because it was so slick in hand. This one's a little different, but it's still some of the. We'll talk about that later. All right. So this is the Sharp by Design Derecho. And let's get a measurement of the knife there. You're looking at about, move it a little bit, just over 3.5, maybe 3 3/4 on the blade length, and overall almost 8.5 inches. So, good size knife. Not complaining about that at all. Let's get the scales out here. Let me back that up a little bit so I can get the LED screen on camera. And let's get a measurement of this. We're looking at about 4.2 ounces. Let's take that off and see if it zeroes out. Put it back on, see what we get. About 4.2 ounces. So there we are with that. Let's go ahead and do some comparisons. Let me get this in the middle of here. All right. Let's start off with the American Blade Works Model 1 Horncliffe, and let's also do the little American Blade Works Slippy. You can see those size comparisons there. Let's check out the Vosteed Acorn and CJRB Pyrite. So you can see it's a good, decent sized knife. Let's get the CJRB Feldspar and the Kaiser Sparrow. Let's go ahead and look at another Vosteed. This will be the Vosteed Porcupine. And also the Miguron Morial. Let's look at the Ozark Trail and the Benchmade Osborne 940. Let's look at a classic. This is the QSP Penguin, and also the Demco Shark Cub. Let's look at the Kaiser Militao and the Berg Blades Sweeney. Alright, almost finished with that. Last but not least, this is the Microtech MSI, the Microtech Standard Issue, and the Kaiser Cyberblade. So that's just some size comparisons so you can compare it against knives that you may be familiar with. All right, let's look at this knife and take a look at it. This is, they call it a hawksbill on the Sharp by Design website, and these are actually still for sale. If you go on their website, they have some of these for sale, some different configurations. And I believe they start out about $315, $325, something like that. This is M390 for the blade steel. Nice satin finish on the blade. And I'm not sure if there's different configurations or different types of finishes on the blade or not. I do know there were several different configurations, but I don't know which of those might be available right now. It does not have a lanyard hole, and in fact, if we look at this knife, back at the back, there is nothing back there as far as thumb studs or anything else, which I think is really cool. And you can see the blade in there, how that looks. That's pretty neat in my opinion. Jimping, there is some jimping at the top of this harpoon thing right here, but that's it. Nothing else. Very smooth and somewhat slick scales there. Opening methods. In my opinion, there's one really good opening method, that being this fuller that runs down a good section of the blade, and you can flick on it pretty much anywhere you can get your finger, and it works well. The other method is this flipper tab, and this flipper tab is very slick. You can push button it okay. If you try to light switch it, you're likely to fail on that if you're not watching it. But again, the push button works fine. I do not like this flipper tab. I wish it had some sort of jimping on it, and it would make it a lot better in my opinion. But that's my opinion, and take it for what it's worth. Price I mentioned was about starting out at about $315, $325, something like that. Goes up into the $600 range for different blade materials. I think Damasteel raises that price significantly, so you can get some very fancy models. Let's see what else. Detent, really good for reverse flicking, in my opinion. But this is kind of his signature flipper as well. So if you're used to it on other knives, you may not have a problem. Lockup, well, let's show you lockup there. Blade play, no, up and down, side to side, really good. The scale material is of course titanium, and this is actually Karco's knife, and I want to thank him for allowing me to take a look at it. Karco carries and uses his knife, so you can see some character marks here on the titanium, which is perfectly fine for me. That's usually what happens to my knives as well, so but very cool there. All right, let's see, let's look at how it fits in pocket. Now this clip looks really nice, but this clip is also a scratch magnet. Very similar clip was on the Mini Tempest that I had, and I ended up having to take it off several times and polishing it up because it got scratched. That's another complaint I have about the finish on the clip. Does it look nice? It definitely looks nice, but and you can see here it carries well in pocket. Let's see if I can scoot it over just a little bit toward that seam there. You can see how it doesn't. Not a lot of the knife is sticking up. If you're going to reach in the pocket to get something, I mentioned the scales are very slick, so it's not going to be one that's going to catch your hand and rip it up while you're trying to reach in and get whatever else may be in the pocket. The pocket clip works okay. It's no huge complaints there, but again, not my favorite clip. And you can see here what I was talking about with scratches. Fit and finish on this knife is very good. This is a Riot made knife from what I could see on the website, and premium materials, Very nicely done. Very limited billboarding here. That's Brian Nadeau's Maker's Mark. Kind of a signature pivot there. Other than that, not a whole lot of markings on there that I see. And this backspacer-esque, made up of the two sides of the scale, that's really cool in my opinion. So you have a sort of kind of backspacer, and I really like this as well. But this would not be one that I would necessarily recommend, just for the reasons that I've listed. It wouldn't be my favorite blade shape either. Is it a cool knife? Yeah, it's not a bad knife, but it's not one that I would actually be probably be in my collection. And that's what I really enjoy about those guys that let me borrow and use their knives. They things that they may have in their collection that they like, I get to experience them and take a look at them and appreciate them. Because a lot of times, even if I don't like a knife, or if it's not for me, I still appreciate the design and looking at them. So, all right, hope you guys and ladies have a wonderful rest of your day. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and leave a comment. I try to get back to folks that leave comments. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks.